And we are back, everybody. Happy New Year's. Hopefully, you all had a wonderful, happy holidays. On behalf of myself here, Shaka, I want to welcome everybody into the new year of 2024, along with my co-host, Ram. Ram, how's it going, sir? Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year to you. How's COVID treating you?
It's a thing. It's going. I'm doing a lot better than I was before, that's for sure. So, I can't complain too much, man. But yeah, so guys, you know the drill. First and foremost, this is part two of a two-part collab here between Ram and myself. Part one can be found over in his channel. You guys can check out the link for that down below in the video description. Make sure you guys get over there, check that out ASAP. Once you've watched that, then you can come back over and check out part deuce. With that being said, Ram, so we're looking forward to 2024 in our video here today, man. We looked at 2023 in your video, 2024. So first and foremost, let's look at the game of Swugga and what we would like to see moving forward. So I've got two things I kind of want to hear from you on this one. First and foremost, what is a character and or ship that you would like to see brought to the game in 2024? And then what is just something generally speaking about the game that you'd like to see moving forward in the new upcoming year? It could be a game mode. It could be, maybe 3v3, whatever it is that you really just want to see more of in 2024 or added to the game, what that general thing might be, sir. What are you thinking here?
All right. Well, so the two things off the top of my head that I would like to see, one is brought into and one is taken out of.
Interesting.
Datacrons.
Whoa,
Take them,
whoa.
take them out. Take them
Really?
out. Just take them out. They're just take them out or revamp them. All right.
Wow.
I won't say take them out completely. I will say that in their current form, take them out completely. If you're gonna revamp them, make them 3 months. Every 3 months, you get a Datacron set. I don't like the 2 month thing just because by the time
You mean
we
4
go
months?
into 3v3, well, no, 2 months to farm them.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
So 2 months to farm them. They're out for 4 months. Make it a 6 month rotation. You farm them for 3 months, and then 3 months you have them, and then it cycles out. The reason why is because when you start out with a new Datacron set, you start out with 3v3, which I absolutely hate. And then by the time 5v5 comes around, that set, another set is going away. And then you have to restart, you have to relearn everything all over again for the next 3v3, which is already a abysmal game mode anyways. It just brings some consistency to it. If you're going to have Datacrons, that's fine. I get it. They're a money-making machine. And there are some cool aspects to it. But I think they should be here longer. They should be here for, I'd say, 6 months. I think that would be a good sweep. And then you could have, 2 or 3 sets throughout the year instead of however many there is currently right now.
That's a really interesting take. I'm not gonna lie, you shocked me on that one. I did not expect you to. I know that you don't love Datacrons, like so. As a counter argument, I'm a huge fan of Datacrons because it really allows me where I am at like a 10 mil roster or wherever I was, even starting at 8 mil when I first started doing Datacrons. It allows me to punch up by 1 million to 2 million GP because usually like I'll just have more Datacrons than them, or I'll have better Datacrons or put them on, better. It basically exaggerates my modding, which is a key aspect to the competitive part of GAC in my opinion. But I know that especially at the top end, it's not so much about, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not so much about, making your roster a little bit better as it is just having that meta Datacron set that wins the game.
Right.
Like I've seen a little bit of it at this point, I guess, with Leia. So whenever I see a Drogonkron on Leia in 3v3, I'm done. I just pretty much cannot beat it.
I have fix that, right?
What's that?
Malicos.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I was gonna say I know there are ways. Yeah, there are ways to do it, but it's especially with a more mid-level roster, you only have so many options. You know what I mean? So it gets tricky with that. But I don't know. I've always I love the theory crafting side of it, that you can kind of theory craft different teams with it and everything like that. Your thought process on having them for a longer time period, I think, is interesting though. I'm totally behind the idea of it not starting in 3v3. We've talked about that in previous videos. It needs to start on 5v5. And again, that's not a hard switch for CG to make. It's not going to cost them any money. Just flip flop when they start. It's easy. The 6 month thing though, I think that's really, really intriguing. Yeah, do you think? 'Cause here's my first thought with this. So, with the current Datacron set that we have, I'm already finding in this conquest, I just don't have anywhere else to use the materials I'm getting because I don't have. Really, the root of the problem is I don't have the income, the actual what's it called, the actual like monetary amount that you can upgrade the Datacrons with. I don't have near
Data
enough of
cache.
that. Yeah, yeah, the data cache. I don't have near enough of that. I have everything else, plenty of it to bring stuff up more, but I just don't have the data cache to do it. Like, so to me, like having it 6 months, I feel like I just wouldn't have anything to farm. Like I'd just be done, and I'd be sitting there and staring at them for 3 months. Um, but I think if they made the data cache a little bit more accessible, that might be better. I think they would lose money though on that. To be honest with you, I don't know. Well, what are you thinking, man? Are you really sold on that, or would you rather see them try to balance like I don't know, just the approach? I just can't see them wanting to do that 6 months. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, maybe if they swapped the when it starts in 3v3 to 5v5,
Hmm.
maybe that would do it for me. I just hate the fact that it starts in 3v3, it ends in
Yeah.
5v5, and then I mean, five. Let's be honest, right? We've done videos on this before. Everybody else has done videos on this before. 3v3 people don't play,
Yep.
right? And
You're right.
so you don't get to learn. You don't get the metrics you would normally get by 5v5 when you look on like Swiggo.gg and like, oh, this Datacron is ideal for this comp or whatever. You don't really get that full fledged that you would in 5v5 because just a lot of people don't play 3v3. Plus, you have the whole problem of people don't whale hard enough in Conquest that first week before 3v3 starts
Yep.
in order to get
I'm the same way.
enough crons, and it's just 5v5 would solve a lot of that problems, and it would entice people to want to whale on datacrons a little bit more in Conquest that first week so they can get some ideal datacrons that second week for 5v5 to start. I don't know. I mean, there's multiple
Hmm.
ways around it. I do like the idea of having it longer. I was a big proponent of it being for 4 months, but I think me personally, I would just like the time to farm it longer, right? So
Digest it
if you
more,
have it
maybe.
digest it more, and if you have it available for 3 months in Conquest, that first month you're farming nothing but datacrons. You get your datacron stash up. Then your second month you're farming you're farming your materials, and then that third month you can build up your data cache a little bit and farm just the data cache because by that point you should have most, if not all, the datacrons that you're going to actually use. Because let's be fair, you don't really need all 30 of them. You can
Right.
build up some of your crons that you really want to use, and then the rest of it you can just build up some data crash. So I
Interesting.
mean that would be kind of my idea for
I
what they could do with it. But
Before we continue with this, folks out there watching, I'd be really interested to see what your thoughts are on this one because I was a little thrown by this from Ram. Would you guys like to see a longer duration for Datacrons? I'm sure you all want to see it flip flop from threes to fives. I think that's everybody, but I'd be intrigued to see if you guys think that we should have a longer duration of them or not. Also, too, a little sidebar with this: with the recent Conquest release, they obviously have made it a little bit easier, I would say, to farm some of the materials. Let me know if you guys like that change that they made too. I'm intrigued to
I
hear
like
what
it.
everybody's thoughts on that were. Um, Continuing with the idea of looking forward to 2024 and stuff in general in the game that we'd like to see, Ram, here. For me personally, we talked about it in your video. It's the Death Star raid, man. It's the Death Star raid. Like the the bike raid is so bad. It is so
Just hit
bad.
auto. It's great.
It's
If you
terrible.
don't like to do anything, it's great because I can just hit auto.
See, I've gotten to the point now. I started on auto, and my numbers were getting way worse than it should have been. So I've been playing it in a very, very easy manual mode. Like we've kind of come up with a system that gets us a pretty good score every time. But it looks terrible. There's even when we're doing this, there's no strategy involved. Like that was one of the cool things about the crate raid is that there was a lot of strategy involved to maximize your scores. Unless you had the maxed out meta, so to speak. But like this raid, I just think misses on so many marks, and hopefully they have learned to kind of maximize the good and the bad that they've seen this year. The crate raid in general, I thought was very good and very well thought out. The timing of it was the problem, in my opinion. The whole every 3 days was crazy. The once a week timing of the bike raid, I think, is great. like when it starts up, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I can get back into this. I can do this again because I've had a little bit of a break from it. It allows me to quote unquote theory craft in between that, even though I'm not doing that because it's a stupid game mode. But that cadence is perfect. Now, if they could take that cadence, the general design of the crate raid, and then an amazing content storyline driven thing that we all want to see in a game like the Death Star, it just makes so much sense. It's bar none for me the number one thing that I would want to see come to this game in 2024. What are you thinking, Ram? You with me on this one?
No, yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's why I ended my video with the Ram Rage that I did. Yeah, it is beyond time to have something related to ships that you can use outside of a competitive game mode in this game. That would be amazing to have something as iconic as the Death Star raid that people have been asking for a while. And let's be fair, right? We talked about it previously where people, I mean, you see the numbers just dwindling off. People don't play this game as much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
What's one of the biggest selling points for people in particular, especially Star Wars people, but people in general? One of the biggest things that get people to return for anything
Raids.
is nostalgia.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah, nostalgia.
right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Nostalgia. If you tell me, hey, come play this Hero Collector game, and we know that you quit a few years back, but come play this Hero Collector game, and here's why: you can play as Luke's X-wing in the new Death Star raid, and you could take out the Death Star and blow it up from the inside and fight alongside Lando and Wedge, or Jack Porkins or whoever, right? Let's be fair, like that would bring back a lot of people and be like, I want to at least play this and experience something that a lot of people have been asking for a while. So that would be something for sure. I would love to see.
That's a very good point. Let me know in comments, guys, if that's your number one thing you'd like to see in 2024. What, or maybe Datacron's being here longer, or what you would like to see. Let us know in comments what you guys think should be the best general thing brought to the game in 2024. Ram, we're going to kind of segue to, again, we're going to continue on the 2024 comment here, but you brought up a really good point about Red 5 and about the ship being brought to the game and to kind of maximize on that raid. I don't know if that's your answer or not here, but what is the character and or ship that you're most looking forward to seeing in 2024 in SWGOH?
Man. Again, yeah, it's definitely something that people have been asking for a very long time. Red 5 is an obvious answer, obvious choice.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there's so many different options that people people want in this game. We talked about it in previous Rogue Actions. Characters from Andor, characters from the Ahsoka series, there's still characters from Mando season 3 that people want that we don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Red 5's an obvious answer.
You gotta like ships though for that.
But I like ships when they're
Do
done
you?
right. I like ships.
Oh,
You have a reason to invest in ships. As much as the RNG tends to screw you over, when ships are done right, and TIE Defender is one of those examples. When they're done right, they're really fun to play with.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not often done right.
Yeah, that's a good
And so
point.
they make it miserable. As far as a character being released, oof. Man, I would like to see an old man Kenobi, right? So we have Jedi Master Kenobi, and then we have old Ben, but we haven't had anything from the Kenobi series besides Reva, right?
Interesting.
What if we had old man Kenobi, where like he uses his blaster and he doesn't have a strong connection to the Force, as he previously did. Hermit Ben, I guess is what we could say.
Hermit Ben, I like it.
Hermit Ben, I don't know.
How many Bens
thinking
would we
it'd
have
be-
then? Would we be able to have a full team of 5?
No,
No, yeah. Old Ben,
because we only have the two.
Master
Don't we?
Kenobi, Clone Wars. We only have 3 at the moment, so it goes 4.
Wait, do we have 3?
Yeah, Old Ben, JMK, General Kenobi,
Oh yeah, General Kenobi.
and then he would be
Yep.
4. So we still
You
need
know
one
who-
more.
another one that we need. We need Padawan Kenobi.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Padawan Kenobi, give him synergy with Qui-Gon.
See, now I would rather see. I'd rather see that. I'd rather see like Padawan Kenobi, or arguably. Well, I guess I don't know. Do you think Clone Wars Kenobi is a Jedi Knight at that point? He's a general. Yeah.
No, he's a general.
Yeah.
He's Jedi Knight.
So like I Jedi Knight or Padawan
Jedi
version
Master.
that pairs well with Qui-Gon. I actually rather see that than because the Kenobi series sucked. I'm not gonna lie, it was a terrible series.
You didn't like Reva?
No, I hated Reva. I hate the Inquisitors. I hate everything about them. No, I'd much rather see, the younger version of him, and I would think in terms of from a series standpoint, in terms of like creating more Star Wars content, I think that's a much better realm to explore as well. We've never really explored that era of when Qui-Gon and like Count Dooku, like that era to explore like
Tales
Count
of the
Dooku,
Jedi?
and yeah, like what we saw a little bit of in Tales of the Jedi, like
Yeah.
that would be an era that would be cool to see a series on, and then obviously get characters from that series as well. That's something that I
Sure.
think I would prefer over Old Man Kenobi personally. But
Fair.
yeah, Kenobi, everyone loves Kenobi. It's certainly not a bad idea at all by any means.
No.
I think for me, oh, see, now you've got me thinking here, sir. For me, my answer is a little bit complicated because Thrawn is one of my absolute favorite characters in the game, along with Ahsoka. I don't think we're going to see this in 2024, but I would not be mad in the slightest if it happened. I think they're going to wait until 25, 26, maybe, like after the series progresses a little bit more. But for me, the number one thing, I want to see the two GLs. I want to see Ahsoka and I want to see Thrawn as GLs. Thrawn, great character as he is, but he hasn't been touched in how many years at this point? Like, I really, really would love to see us revisit him in particular. We've revisited Cat. I think Cat, not Cat, but
He's
you know,
still very
Ahsoka.
viable, though.
He is, yeah. I'm not saying that he's a bad
He's-
character.
He
Yeah,
just has. He's one of those people that we've talked about before, where the kit makes the character.
yes,
Right. You
Yep.
have characters that they bring out, and then their kits become outdated as they go along. Thrawn is not one of those because
Correct.
he's had the kit. He came out in 2016, and he is still used in teams today because Fracture
Mhm.
is not going to go away anywhere.
Nope.
It's still very crucial.
The turn
Parameter
swap,
swap
yeah.
is amazing. Protection recovery is amazing. Ability block on basic if they have stun on basic if they have
Stun.
ability block already, and if they don't, then he inflicts speed up,
Speed
and
up.
then it turns into
It turns into
the
ability
next
block.
turn.
Yeah.
That in of itself is just his kit makes him viable to this day, and it's amazing to see because he's such an iconic character.
Yeah, I think so. His abilities and his unique, I love. Where I would want to see a different iteration of him, I think, is the leadership side of it. His leadership has the potential to do some cool stuff, but it's very rare. It's too outdated. Like I would love to see another version of him where we capitalize on that leadership, where he's able to use like Night Sisters. He's able to use Imperial Remnant. Like he's able to kind of tie a whole bunch of these factions together, kind of like what Gideon's did, where, if you've got support, attacker, and tank, then suddenly this boosts your faction up. It'd be really cool to see if you have a Night Sister, a Imperial Remnant, and I don't know, an original Empire character. I don't know, something like that, just across, generations even, where suddenly his leadership is massively increased and boosted. And I think what it does too with doing something like that is it allows you to use some of those leftover characters from those factions that could really, make a B level team, kind of like what we're going to get with Bane here coming out, where he could like really, really boost a lot of these lower level characters, or possibly put him eventually towards like a GL version of his character where it's just bananas, off the charts, amazing. I don't know. I love everything about Ahsoka and Thrawn as a whole. Clone Wars for me was my absolute favorite series in Star Wars. Rebels, good. Thrawn was amazing from it. I just want to see more content from that in general. I don't know. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Right.
Thoughts?
No, I agree. Yeah, absolutely. I would love to see some updated stuff. And I mean, they don't necessarily make money as much as they do off of character releases,
Right.
but reworks should still definitely be a thing that's on the table.
Yeah.
Because with a good rework that they can do, I mean, we saw it with Mace, right? They brought out a rework for Mace, and it completely changes the dynamic of where you can use him. Before, nobody was using him. And
Right.
now you can use him to take out Jabba's. He's very clutch there. You can put him with the Qui-Gon team. You can put him with a JMK team. It's just there's a whole lot of different areas, and I mean, it just reworks. They can bring back viability to characters that don't get used, and there's a lot of them that don't get used, just because their kits are so outdated.
Yeah.
You know, Night Sister Initiate. Pick any of the
Even Spirit's
bottom
not used
five
very much
Watcher
anymore.
Republic. Spirit's not used much anymore because you have Marin now.
Right.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of characters that could use a touch up. It's
Touch
not a
up,
whole,
yeah.
not a whole rework. That's fine, but a touch up. You know, add a unique, and a lot of these, and we've talked about
Add
this
an
in previous
Omicron.
videos.
Mhm.
Add an Omicron,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
That was the ideal point of Omicrons initially was let's boost up these characters, give them one ability that's going to take that team and bump them up an echelon in a certain game mode. That would be perfect.
Yeah.
Speaking of Omicrons, I did want to add another thing I would like to see in 2024 is them adding increased ways to get Omicrons. And there's already been a handful of ways
Yes.
that they've done that.
Yeah.
But increased ways of adding Omicrons, because there's so many Omicrons that they're bringing out, three per conquest. And then, you know, typically any marquee is going to have at least one, maybe two. So any given like 5 months or so, you're having a good 6, 7, 8 Omicrons, and really you're only getting like 3 or 4. So it makes you have to kind of select which Omicrons you want to do. And if you're in like let's say a TW guild, the priority becomes you have to put them on TW characters. So then you're slacking on GAC. We just need increased ways of farming them
I wouldn't hate
that
seeing
aren't whaling.
I wouldn't hate seeing another tier of, as much as I don't want to say this, another tier of like assault battles where we get an Omicron, like something like that, where it's accessible to everybody. Obviously, it's very late game, but I think Omicrons in general are pretty late game. But I don't know.
Another
It's just
tier of
something.
assault battles, or here's an idea: maybe change the tier 3 that gives you the exact same rewards as tier 2. Maybe I don't know, add an Omicron.
Add an Omicron, yeah, the one that you get the Zeta on would be nice.
Sim it, but something.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point, sir. Yeah. Let us know in comments, folks. What are some characters and or things that you would like to see brought to the game here in 2024? With that being said, looking again ahead to 2024, Ram, one topic I thought would be fun to talk about here is resolutions for the new year in SWGOH. So this is a bit of a different approach. Rather than talking about the game itself, we're going to be talking about us as players within the game. And this obviously can apply to you guys, the viewers, as well, because we all take very different approaches to how we play the game. So I'm looking at a resolution, something that you personally want to try to do as a player, as an approach to this game in 2024 that maybe you haven't always done or just want to improve upon compared to 2023. Any particular resolutions you have in mind, sir?
Oh. The easy one would be to say that I'm not going to do any dumb stuff anymore. But we all know that that's not going to happen. We just know, right? So I'm going to throw that one out the window, if you will.
I see what you did there.
Now, I do want to maximize my roster just a little bit. And what I mean by that is, I've got characters that I want to build up, and granted, I have to build up these other, Relic Knights that I committed for sub goals and whatnot. That's besides the point. But there's characters that I want to build up that I haven't been able to, because I get sidetracked for other things that maybe I deem more important or something like that. Jedi Knight Cal is a prime example. I just now got him up to Relic 1. He's been out for how long? I wanted to get him up. He's a very good character, but I haven't been able to really do anything with them. I want to finish my Jawa faction. Jawas are fun, but I still have one of them at gear 12, so I want to take them up. Tuskens, they're actually a very solid team at Relics. I just haven't been able to finish them. Yes, I know a little bit about what they do now, just a little bit, but I know.
Shocking.
Let's see. What's another really good like secondary uh bounty hunters teams, right? So
Yeah.
you have your Hut Cartel and you have your main bounty hunter team, but there's other teams in that faction that I want to gear up to, and I just haven't been able to, because like I said, I get sidetracked on these other things that maybe work for Datacrons or maybe they work for the raid or something like that.
Yeah.
Imperial Troopers. Imperial Troopers are a lot of fun, but
Yeah.
I have to sidetrack them a lot, and hopefully I'm not going to be able to sidetrack them as much now because they're part of the raid.
Right.
Um, so I don't know. It's just things like that. Maybe the answer should be not get sidetracked as much. You know,
I can see that.
It's kind of hard to do.
I like what you're saying though, because so like for instance, right now I'm farming Leviathan, and I've had all of the characters at relics for a long time. So it's just a matter of me progressing my relic levels
Mhm.
on them. And one of the things I've wanted to do for a super long time, and I'm finding like this lucky little moment where I'm able to do it, is like I've wanted to bring my Bad Batch up to relic levels. I want to bring up my Night Sisters to relic levels. I'm not necessarily taking them all the way up into high relic levels because I'm not going for like Lord Vader right now, for instance. But just getting more of these teams that are, like you said, kind of a B tier, and being able to get them up to a relic level, for me in particular, so I can use an Omicron on them. That's or a Datacron on them, I should say. Is the big bonus to that. That's a really good point. Do you? So are you more? I guess my thought is, are you more saying that you want to be able to just do more fun side projects, or do you want to try to minimize your investment? Kind of. So where I'm going with this one is obviously with raids, because of raids, a lot of times if you want to maximize your scores, you've got to go really high relic levels. Like, so a bunch of people took the Jabba teams all the way up to relic 8. With how sort of short the raids are, do you think that's still worth the investment and you're going to continue doing that in 24? Or are you going to say, like, you know what? No, I'm going to relic to what I think is appropriate for the game as a whole, and what I get is what I get in the raid. What are you thinking on that?
Oh no, I don't care about the raid. Sorry, guild. I know some of these guys may be watching. I'm sorry. I don't care about the raid. I will do what I can for the raid, but I'm not going to sit here and make the same mistake that I did with the crate raid, where I took all these characters up to relic 8, and then they're still a good team. Hut Cartel is still a good team, sure, but Tuskens are not worth relic 8.
Yeah,
They're not.
yeah.
But I took some of them up, because of sub goals, but I also took up some just to try to get that team up and running, and they were not performing as needed. Jawas were the same thing. I took Jawas up just because I like Jawas, but I took them up to relic 7, relic 8, thinking that they might do more damage in the raid, and they really didn't. They just still kind of performed the same level, right? So I'm tired of people dictating where you have to level up things in this game. It's your game. You're the one paying it. You're the one playing it. You're the one that has to log in and do your dailies and everything every day. Play it how you want. Yes, obviously work with your guild and come up with a compromise of, hey, for every 2 relic 9s for my account, I'll do 1 relic 9 for the raid, or whatever compromise you want to come out with. You know, have that discussion. I'm not saying ignore your guild at all, but I'm tired of people dictating how you play when there's other ways to do it and still come out to a relative same
end result. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
That's an interesting thought. That kind of actually leads into my resolution, actually. So from my history as a player, so I didn't play the game until realistically a year after it was released. But when I did play, I was just kind of like in the same situation you're describing, where I was really going hardcore and everything. I was very competitive. I was never in a guild where we were dictated what to do. That is one thing I'll say. They gave us suggestions, and because you wanted to do, again, the competitive nature, you all wanted to be the best person within your guild, you'd always do those things. So even though it wasn't a requirement, it essentially was. I'm burned out because of that approach. That whole, I have to have it all. I have to have it now. I have to be the best, blah, 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 blah. And ended up quitting for about 9 months because of that. When I came back to the game, I came back with the approach of, you know what? I'm just going to play the game for fun. I'm going to get what I want to get. And I'm not going to be in a guild that's uber super serious. And I'm in a guild like that now. It's a much more casual guild compared to what I was before, and compared to I know what a lot of the other guilds out there are. Um, and to be clear, guys, I'm saying you do you for guilds, and I think that's an important point to remember here. And Ram said that, like, the guild that matches you best is the best guild for you. And for me personally, I think my FOMO, I can feel it creeping up a little bit here, especially with Conquest, with Bane coming out right now. I gotta keep reminding myself, Shaka, do not get back into that toxic relationship where you've got to have the best and the brightest and the newest shiny thing and be on top of everything. Like I am sitting here scheduling out my time to get Conquest done right now, and I'm sitting here thinking, I can't do this, especially once the work year gets back into place. Like, I can't do it. And I think that's something that's important to remember from a player standpoint. Do what is best for you. And remember, guys, it's a game. It should be something that you enjoy doing. I know, shout out to Scotty Vito. Scotty Vito, one of our viewers out there, recently just dropped the game. And my heart kind of breaks for him, because I'm like, God, I hope that he didn't go down that path of just getting too serious about it. I don't think he did. I think it was just time for him. But I don't want to see other players kind of fall down that route that I did, where I just got too intense and too sucked up in it and too serious about it. And just remember that, guys. Do what's best for you. Enjoy the game. If the game's not there for you, fine, I get that. But don't buy into that toxic relationship, so to speak, I guess is what I would say. I think it kind of fits along with what you were saying there, Ram, right?
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if that's the play style that you want to be at, if you're the type of person that wants to be that uber competitive play style, and you're willing to accept whatever that takes, and you want to go into one of the top 3 guilds, top 5 guilds, whatever, and be TW competitive and whatnot, by all means. We're not saying you don't do that. We're not saying that you can't play the game like that. Absolutely. If that's what floats your boat, go for it.
Yep.
But as long as the important part remains is that you are still enjoying the game and still having fun. And for me, where I'm at, I was not having fun being that uber competitive, because I know I can't be. I know that, let's just call a potato a potato. My wallet doesn't allow me to be there, right?
Right.
So I had to kind of compromise and go down to a lower level guild, and just kind of, especially now with life being taken over a little bit, I've taken a massive step back, and I go in, I do my dailies and whatnot, and I donate, pieces to the guild and whatnot, but I'm not, wailing for the next latest and greatest, and it's a race to Relic 9, and it's, I have to get the top score in the raid. I have to get the top score in TB. I haven't joined TW in a month and a half. It's, I just couldn't care less right now, because I'm playing the game how I want to play the game. And when I decided to step back into the things and do more, then I will. But
I think that's a good point. Like, ride the wave, ride the wave. There are going to be points where you're really into the game, points where you're really down in the game. Yeah. You got to ride the wave. Don't get too high. Don't get too low. Really, really, really good points there, Ram. Again, this was something, folks. Let us know in the comments. Where are you at in the game as a player? Are you more of that low key? You're just here for some fun? Are you hyper competitive? It's always interesting to me to see where different viewers are at in the game and their approach and their play style in the game. I think it's something that's easy for us to forget about as players, that there's more to just the game than the game itself. It is a community after all. And that's, I think, the best part of this game is the community. So wanted to just kind of get your thoughts, everybody, on where you are as a person and as a player in the game, beyond just the game itself. All right, moving on, Ram. We're going to move on to our last, much more lighthearted topic here, our Master of Memes. So for those of you who don't know, we do a little competition on this each week, guys, where we have 2 memes face off against each other. Ram and I are going to check these out along with you guys, and we're going to see which ones we like best. And then we're going to see which one ended up winning the overall vote. So with that being said, Ram, let's go ahead and check out our Master of Memes, sir. Today we are looking at I Think I Can See the Past. Han and Leia, they're arguing. Aha! Did you kiss your sister? Versus so many people are going to rage because this is not a Star Wars one. My girlfriend set fire to all of her outstanding bills. What's her name again? Bernadette. I'm so conflicted on this because one of them's an amazing dad joke, and I love dad jokes. But of course, it's a Star Trek meme, and I know everyone out there right now is like, "How dare you do this? How dare you have a Star Trek meme on this?" Listen, guys, sometimes you got to look at the stuff that's bad to appreciate how good it is. Ram, which one do you like best? Which one speaks to you, and do you think should win this, sir?
Well, to me, it's a clear and easy choice for the exact reason you just said, right? One is Star Trek and one is Star Wars. So for me, I have to go with the dad joke Bernadette.
Oh!
There's Ray on the damn meme, and no one likes Ray. No one likes the sequels. So we're going with the dad joke. I don't care if Star Trek, it's better than Ray.
Oh, wow. We just got canceled. Good thing you did that on my video and not yours. For me, guys, as much as I love dad jokes, I'm the opposite. Maybe there's a reason, but I think the sibling kissing thing is pretty freaking hilarious, especially with Daisy Ridley reacting to it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just.
It's Last Jedi.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I think it is funny in general. These are both really good, though, man. Let's go ahead and see how the audience voted, shall we? Winner for Master of Memes this week is, well, of course, we all knew what it was going to be. It's the kissing your sister meme, guys. So first and foremost, folks, if you agreed and you thought this was the best one, let us know. If you totally disagree and think we're terrible and Ram is horrible for liking Star Trek, also you can let us know. If you would like to submit some memes to this competition because you think you've got better memes than this, get over to Discord. You guys can drop those memes over in our Discord channel. You guys will be able to see the link for that down below in the video description. And we will add that to the list. We do this over on our Twitch live streams. We vote for usually Twitch on live streams. This one, because I was sick, we had to do on Discord. But generally speaking, we will do the votes over there. We'll shout you out on Twitch. We'll shout you out on Discord. And then obviously we will shout you out here as well. Winner for this one, guys, this is Rocket Man. Rocket Man submitted this one. Congrats to Rocket Man. He will be taking the title of Master of Memes for this week, guys. This was a high quality one, without a doubt. What do you think, Ram? Do you think that's an appropriate win?
No, I disagree. Last Jedi sucks. No one will ever change their mind. Sorry, Cubs. Never happening.
That's true. Cubs had some interesting takes. That one was.
You could have had a trash bin on fire meme, and I'd been like, that's a better meme than Last Jedi. Unless we're looking at the movie as a whole, then yes, Last Jedi is a great meme because it's all trash. Yeah,
that's true. What if it was a garbage bin with The Last Jedi in it on fire? Would that win?
Ooh, that would definitely win.
That's got to be so conflicting for you, though.
No, that hits close to the hearts.
All right, everybody, we're going to wrap it up there. Obviously, folks, if you guys liked what you saw today, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, all that jazz, everybody. We will catch you next week on behalf of Ram. See you guys.